Okay, so what if we could build a perfect virtual copy of our entire planet? I mean, a digital twin so accurate we could literally ask it about the future. Sounds like sci-fi, right? Well, today we're diving into one of the most ambitious scientific projects ever conceived, the quest to do exactly that. And let me tell you, it is a huge undertaking. I mean, scientists have been chasing this dream for over a century. So the big question is, how do you even begin to simulate something as incredibly complex as our planet, not just to see its past, but to actually predict its future? Well, the answer lies in something called an Earth System Model, or ESM for short. And you should really think of it as the ultimate simulation. It's that digital twin we're talking about, a model that captures the intricate dance between all of our planet's core components: the atmosphere, the oceans, the land, the ice, and yeah, even life itself. But look, these incredible tools didn't just appear out of thin air. Their development has been this fascinating century-long journey. It's a story that starts with simple equations on a blackboard and evolves all the way to simulating entire living ecosystems. So the journey really kicks off in the early 1900s, right? We're talking basic equations, just trying to get a handle on the atmosphere and oceans. Then you fast forward to the mid-century, and you see these big international collaborations, which give us the first simple energy balance models. But the real game changer, that came in the 1980s. There was this model called Daisy World, and it was brilliant. It showed for the first time how life itself creates these feedback loops with the environment. That was the moment biology officially entered the chat. And all of that history leads us to where we are today, with these super comprehensive ESMs that have all these interconnected modules for every major part of our planet.
Okay, but here's the crucial point. As powerful as these models are, our digital twin, well, it isn't a perfect mirror of Earth. Not yet. The picture is still kind of blurry because some really key parts are still missing. And I'm not talking about small details, no. Even our most advanced simulations have these critical blind spots. They're leaving out entire pieces of the puzzle, pieces that are absolutely crucial for understanding our world. So what's the first and maybe the most complex missing piece? It's us, the anthroposphere. You see, most models treat human activity, our economies, our societies, our behaviors, like it's a one-way street. We just input our emissions and the model spits out a result. But what they really struggle with is the feedback loop. How does a changing planet, in turn, change us? That's the part they're missing. Next up, we have the ground beneath our feet, the lithosphere. A lot of our models basically treat the Earth's crust as a static, stable stage. But that misses the really slow, incredibly powerful forces of plate tectonics, the stuff that shapes continents over millions of years. And it also doesn't fully account for the abrupt, dramatic impacts of things like volcanoes and major earthquakes. And for our third blind spot, we've got the cryosphere, all of our planet's frozen worlds. And this is where it gets really interesting because so many critical parts are either way oversimplified or just left out entirely. Things like mountain glaciers and lake ice, often not even in the model. And the massive ice sheets are treated more like static blocks of ice, not the dynamic, flowing systems we know they are. Plus, that super important feedback loop of thawing permafrost releasing carbon, yeah, that's not quite well represented yet either.
So, okay, that's a lot of missing pieces. The big question is, how do we fix this? How do we fill in those gaps and finally bring our digital twin into sharp focus? Well, the answer lies in a really fundamental shift in how we're building these models.
The big shift is this. We're moving from relying on physics alone to combining physics with data. Think about it like this. For decades, our models were built just on the laws of physics as we understand them. But what about the things we don't fully understand, or the things that are just way too complex to calculate? That's where the new approach comes in. It fuses physics with AI and machine learning to crunch massive amounts of real-world observational data. It finds hidden patterns and fills in the gaps that physics, on its own, just can't.
And this new approach is leading to 3 key upgrades. First up, multi-resolution modeling. This is so cool. It basically lets us zoom in with incredible detail on something specific, like a hurricane or a melting glacier, without having to burn tons of computing power simulating the entire planet at that same resolution. Second, we've got smarter component coupling. This is all about making the different parts of the model, the ocean, the ice, the atmosphere, talk to each other better, creating more stable and realistic feedback loops. And finally, data model fusion. This means continuously feeding the model real-time data from satellites and sensors, letting it calibrate and improve itself on the fly. This really gets to the heart of why these models are so important. The source material puts it perfectly. Their most significant value isn't just about prediction, it's about their capacity to integrate all of our knowledge, to take everything we know about our planet and put it into one single coherent framework.
So where is all this heading? Well, it's all leading us toward one incredible goal: building a true, fully functional digital twin of our world.
And listen, this is about so much more than just forecasting the weather next week. The ultimate goal here is to create a virtual laboratory of Earth, a place where we can rewind time to understand the past, where we can test all sorts of what-if scenarios, and ultimately make much more reliable predictions about the really complex future that we all share.
Which brings us to one final thought-provoking question for you. If we actually had it, a perfect, all-knowing digital twin of our planet, what would be the very first thing you would ask it?